Welcome back to the Chasing Tone video show with Brian.
I'm Max.
And today we talk about the Clarksdale versus the pre-gain section of the Plexi-Drive, which are two like tube screamery type of pedals and how they compare to each other. We also talk about gigging in the winter, some tips for gigging in the winter, and then we have a very cool gear vault for this week with a very cool special type of booster.
It's a fire bottle.
It's a magic booster.
Magic.
What are the differences in the similarities of the Clarksdale and the pre-gain channel of the Plexi-Drive Deluxe?
All right, so the Clarksdale and the pre-gain section of the Plexi-Drive are very similar, right?
Both TS inspired, right?
Both tube screamer-esque type of circuits. I would actually go as far as saying the Clarksdale being very 808-ish, and since the pre-gain is based on the Clarksdale, then you're going to have some similar sounds.
Cool.
So I'm playing this Whitfield Stratocaster, and right now I have the bass, mids, and treble pretty close to 12 o'clock on the Clarksdale. And the only control you have on the pre-gain section of the Plexi-Drive is the pre-gain knob,
which just does like volume.
It's just a volume. So tone is set, distortion set,
gotcha.
or gain set. So first of all, I'll click on that.
You gotta use your bender.
that was I'll call that country lick A. That's one of them.
Play B later, and then you played them both.
Yeah, right. I'll play country lick B that I know later. Clarksdale.
You thought it was getting slower. We're just kind of sped up at the end. It's
Exactly.
Like,
I had you fooled, didn't I? Plexi-Drive.
So Plexi-Drive is just a little more gainy.
Could be, but we can compensate with that. So that would be the Clarksdale with the controls.
Sure. So the Plexi-Drive, I guess what I'm hearing is the Plexi-Drive kind of is like right in the middle gain wise. It's not quite as, doesn't have clean capabilities that the Clarksdale has, or the extreme heavy that the Clarksdale has. It's kind of set as a general great sounding, on the verge of breakup tube screamer.
Right. So, and then when you stack them together, it's your favorite sound.
I was like, why does this sound so weird? It's like, nope, it's got to be on the neck.
I was on the bridge pickup.
You were.
And we should probably note that we're playing through the Port City Pearl too.
Yeah, very flat amp for you guys that don't know. It's a very flat response amp.
Right. So okay, so in your favorite position.
That was like B and a half.
All right, so that's your gig. I'm gonna hand it to you.
Yeah, man.
And show me, you tell me what you think about the difference.
So yeah, I mean, so like I kind of mentioned earlier, at least in my ear, I kind of hear the Plexi-Drive kind of right in the middle gain wise. It's
your pre-gain circuit.
Pre-gain, yeah, excuse me. The pre-gain side, the TS inspired side of it, it's kind of right in the middle. If you already, I know I get a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails. The guys want to know about overlap. Like, if I already have a Plexi-Drive Deluxe with that TS circuit, do I need a Clarksdale? Me personally, you can never have too many tube screamers, so yes. But they both do kind of different things. If you already kind of like the on the verge of breakup, it's slightly gainy tube screamer, you might just like the pre-gain section of the Plexi-Drive Deluxe. If you want a little bit more control, let's say you like your tube screamer just for a boost, definitely want to take a look at the Clarksdale. If you like your tube screamer with a lot of hair on it, or like really cranked up, definitely check out the Clarksdale. But they sound really cool stacked together. I was kind of playing with this a couple weeks ago. I had some customers just ask me about it. So I would set up do a little bit more treble. I put my gains cranked up just a little bit, and my volume button right there on the neck position, as God intended with the Stratocaster. So it's still pretty hunky, still pretty mid-rangey. You could dial some of that out with your amp. I usually kind of leave them, if I'm running 2 tube screamers, I kind of leave everything at noon anyways on both. It kind of stacks them really wonderfully. If you're looking for something a little cleaner, I always kind of throw it down in the smooth position and then just really kind of crank your gain down.
Yeah, that lift section actually changes, the switch on it changes diodes. So if you're like the type of guy that wants to know, lift would be asymmetrical clipping and smooth would be symmetrical clipping.
Boom.
So
Clipping.
what that really translates to the guy actually playing it is that in the lift setting, it's going to be a little more open.
Okay.
In the smooth setting, a little more like what people call compressed. It's not, it's not like a compression, but it's just a little more compressed.
Round.
I don't know how you describe something without using that word, but
yeah. So I mean, I kind of set when I'm playing my Clarksdale, I kind of set it up as almost a right on the verge of breakup, kind of a cleaner sound. You can kind of hear it just breaking up just a little bit. Then I use my other tube screamer, or in this case, you can just use a pre-gain section of the Plexi-Drive to really just crank it up. So it just sounds wonderful. 2 tube screamers. That's what you should always do. But yeah, there is some overlap, but if you're a guy like me that really likes a lot of options in your tube screamer, you definitely want to kind of take a look at the Clarksdale. I would say that, if I didn't work for you. The Clarksdale, I've had a lot of TS-08s. Actually, I have every tube screamer model but 2 from Ibanez. And the Clarksdale.
Are you asking Ibanez to send you those 2? Which ones don't
if you find in your heart, I don't have the TS-808DX, which is like this ginormous tube screamer. Let's see, I think there's one more I don't have. Maybe not. Oh, I don't have an old TS7, the tone locks.
Really?
Remember those?
Yeah.
Like the pushing buttons?
I actually like those.
Those are cool. I don't own one of those. Those are the only 2 I don't own. So.
Yeah. They had a hot setting, I think, on it.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah.
So
we need to get one of those. So if you're listening, you have one you don't want. Send
yeah, if you just send it.
PM me. I give you the address.
Winter gigging, how to protect your gear.
So Max, on this one,
yeah,
it's all yours, brother.
All right, so I have a couple tips. One being a gigging musician in the Midwest, especially in January, it's absolutely awful sometimes, or in December, which is what we're in now.
I love the feeling whenever you're going, like you're running late, and so you like hurry in, and your fingers are freezing cold, and so they're just not working for the first 5 songs.
Yes, definitely want to warm up for that. For me, Ian kind of hit on something. Bring a different pair of shoes. I wear a different pair of shoes. I bring a different pair of shoes for a very specific reason. If any of you guys have ever had like wet socks, it's absolutely the worst feeling in the world. It was like last November, last December. It's like pouring down snow, right? And like I called the club ahead of time, asked if they have any spots like right by the door. They do. They clear me a spot. Cool. So I'm running late anyways because the weather's crap. Pull up. Grab my amp, not paying attention, left foot right into a snowbank. I'm wearing like tennis shoes, and it's like has like the mesh vents.
Yeah.
So like my left sock, my left shoe is like totally soaked, and it's miserable. It's starting to smell bad. It's absolutely miserable. So I wear a different pair of like shoes to the gig, and then right before I get on stage, I'll change.
I actually, Now that you say that, I do recall being a similar situation and wearing tennis shoes for most of my life.
Yeah.
Because I have back problems if I don't wear. So step into a snowbank and its snow goes inside of said tennis shoe, and so you have cold and wet, one colded, one wet foot.
It's just miserable. It's terrible. So that was actually a great. That was going to be my first suggestion. And I saw you wrote that, and I was like, man, that's awesome.
Bob the video guy had a good answer to that too.
What's that?
Snow tires.
Snow tires, yeah.
That's a good thing to have on your car to get to the gig.
Yeah, or don't have a flat tire. I've had that problem before.
A flat tire on the way to.
Man, my spare was flat too.
That's good timing.
It was terrible. I was literally like taking pictures and showing the club owner. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm not making this up. This is really my life right now. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, clumsiness. Most of this can be avoided if you're just not clumsy.
And that was the last time you played the gig there.
It actually was. They closed it. Actually, it was hit by a tornado.
See? And you caught all because of flat tire.
No, actually, it was funny. It was not funny. It's actually a really terrible story.
It was funny. Everybody died. It was awesome.
No, it was a club. There's like, yeah, we have a ton of people coming out. We're like, cool. So we didn't really promote it because they're claiming they had a bunch of people coming out, right?
Right.
So we play like 2 sets there. The place is, of course, it's dead because we're a blues band in Indiana.
Right.
In the middle of nowhere, nobody wants to come see us. It's in a tiny little, like, this town had like 2 stoplights, right? So they short us pay. They short us a gig. They're like, okay, there's nobody here. Pack your stuff and get out. They short us like a couple $100. So my bass player on a whim was like, and again, tornado season, it's bad weather, it's really windy when we're leaving anyways. He was like, I hope this place gets hit by a tornado. He literally called me like 2 hours later, goes, you're not going to believe this. He's like, the whole front of the bar where we were playing, hit by a tornado.
Wow.
Like, yeah, the whole thing, like everybody like closed the bar early, the whole thing was hit by a tornado. So
that's
terrible.
crazy. You beat me. I've never been in that position before.
So yeah, I felt awful. But on snow.
You were playing blues though.
I was playing blues.
Were you playing a Strat?
I was playing straight.
There's a problem.
On the neck pickup.
Telecaster fixes everything.
God wouldn't have been so mad.
It even more gets rid of the bad weather in the area.
Yeah, no joke. Telecasters can fight tornadoes. If you didn't know this. But, sorry. For you old podcasting listeners. No, but snow. There's a bunch of other stuff too. I'm actually have this problem right now because I have a gig tomorrow night. Amplifiers, especially tube amplifiers, let them warm up. Try to get them, like if you're unloading gear in priority, try to get your tube amp in first. Don't just turn on the on and stand by. Let those tubes really get a chance to get some current in them, warm up, get acclimated to the room. Tuning's always an issue. If your guitars are anything like mine, they're always going flat.
Yeah.
So
especially
make sure
coming
you
in
tune
from
up.
the car to the inside, yeah.
Exactly.
You're tuning like in between every chorus.
Exactly. Well, especially if you get like right at the club and like you get everything plugged in, you tune up, you're like good. Don't expect your guitar to stay in tune always right before your first song. Make sure you tune up because I've had that. I was like, yeah, my guitar's in tune. I checked it, when I first got here. And then that first chord is like, and it's terrible. That's what the sound made.
It sounds a little like Eyore.
It does. It sounded terrible. It sounded like ass. But yeah, and then for humidity, if you have acoustics, best $10 you can ever spend is like on a little humidifier or like a sponge. Don't get like soaking wet, but just kind of dampen the sponge. Your guitar will kind of soak in as much moisture as it needs. If not, you can get like crack.
So put a wet sponge in your case.
No, not in your case. It's actually like a rubber disc for your acoustics. It has a sponge in it, and then you put it in the sound hole.
There's no sound hole in your Strat though.
I know. That's why Strats are awesome. They don't need sponges. But yeah, on that kind of stuff, especially if you have your electric guitars out, stay away from registers. That's actually how I got my Pollard Smith. The guy who owned it before me, it was hanging in a store under a vent, and like the cold air coming in from the front door and the hot air coming from the vent, like totally like wrecked some of the finish. And there's like little touch-ups.
The neck looked like a quarter pipe, basically.
It didn't bend, but like the finish like cracked all like in a bad way, like popped off and stuff. So I got a guitar at a discount.
So you got a Relics guitar.
Yeah, Relics. Yeah, just like Mr. Smith intended. I call him Mr. Smith. So yeah, just a lot of stuff is common sense. Don't be clumsy and step into snowbanks. I have a tendency to do that a lot. Ask my wife. Or mud. That's the other one. So, but anyways.
Right. Cool.
Winter tips.
For the gear vault, we have this fire bottle. Have you ever heard of this?
I've never heard of this bottle.
Magnetic pickup booster by Effectrode.
I'm very excited.
So, yeah, we just plugged this in. Runs on a 12-volt adapter, supplied, I believe.
It's got it.
And it has a variable impedance sort of switch. So right now it's off. So right now, you're not being buffered in any way.
Nope.
So, and we have a lot of cable. So
A lot of cable.
Yeah, so it's not going to sound as clear as what it normally would with the buffer on. So actually do this. Play it without the buffer, the clean Port City amp, and then kick on the buffer just so people know.
So this is without the buffer.
Now with the buffer. Okay, so now with with the buffer, it's going to be clear. So for the test of this fire bottle, we're going to leave the buffer off, and I'll explain in a minute. So I'm going to kick it on, It's just simply a clean boost. I say simply. It's a clean boost with a tone control. So. So let me change this impedance switch. Change it again. Now, I'll do the same thing, but turn the buffer on. Okay, let me turn the switch. One more. So as you can see, there's not a gigantic amount of difference because, I mean, once you start changing everything to a low impedance, I don't know the circuit, but I'm assuming that it's buffering and stuff at the beginning.
Yeah, for sure.
So, once you turn a buffer on, not a whole lot to change there. It's not going to change it to a high impedance. Tone control, did we even mess with the tone control? Let's see what this tone control's got.
We're first time guys. We have no idea about this pedal.
I have no idea. Okay, all right, so for this one, I have to actually go adjust the levels, but we're going to drive that amp into overdrive.
Yes.
Cool?
Yeah.
All right, so let me go do that real quick.
Where's the pizza?
All right, so I just simply turn the mic levels down so we don't clip the mic.
Yeah.
So you probably don't have a whole lot of volume without it on. Okay, so volume all the way up. Okay, let me turn the switchy.
Wait, is that the technical name for it? Switchy?
Switchy. And again. Turn the tone knob up. And down. Okay, so basically we are totally pummeling the front end of that Port City amp.
Big time. And it's a flat, clean amp.
Yeah, I mean, generally when you turn an amp almost all the way up, like it barely breaks up with it wide open. So, and it wasn't really intended to be like a cranked amp sort of thing. It's kind of intended to be like a clean platform that's really good for pedals. So, and we have. Like I actually like to boost it with a Klon. I think it actually does sound good with a Klon type pedal.
Yeah.
But a full, like even the decibel boost or the dB plus, or just a full frequency boost.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of boosting amps with those. Just my personal thing.
Sure.
But yeah, that one. Can I see it real quick?
I guess.
I wonder what it'd sound like with a bridge, with a proper bridge. Chicken picking country lick. I'm just
starting to
teasing.
itch.
So, let's see. So I'll do. So
I like it when you play it.
So it's kind of compressy. It compresses a lot.
You hit a lot harder than me too.
I hit really hard, yeah. Let's see, you're doing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Some of that.
So. Yeah, no docking.
Oh, I do know docking. Yeah.
Okay.
My dad listened to it. I'm just joking.
My dad. Oh,
I'm just
man.
joking. You can't pass up that kind of joke when it comes up.
Yeah, I remember them in, I was like 4. That's great.
That's fun.
Thanks, that doesn't make me feel old at all. All right, so you got anything else you want to check out with the
cool.
Fireball?
Yeah,
Right?
I was wondering, what are these aerodynamic holes for? They make it go faster?
That makes it go faster. So yeah, there's holes on the side.
And it's got Alex Velcro on it, so don't break your thumb.
Right.
Again.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And the story behind that is Alex Clays works for a company and a good friend of ours. He let Travis borrow his Big Muff, his green Big Muff.
The original, like Big
Yeah,
Muffs.
yeah.
The green box.
And the Velcro is like super duper, like you can't.
Nuclear adhesive.
Yeah, you can't get it off the pedal board. So Travis and I were both trying to tear it off the pedal board, and it broke free, smashed my finger, and broke my nail off. It was awesome. So
Sounds awesome.
it was,
I'd say I'm sorry it was you, but I'm glad it wasn't me.
yeah. So that's the reason for the Velcro joke. So all right, so that's it for this week's Chasing Tone video show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, comment below, or you can always email us at podcast@wamplerpedals.com. So we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.